Hello and welcome to Wildlife Cam. This is one of the adult bulls. He doesn't have the biggest tusks, but he is quite a large fellow. We do see more and more of the big guys now. It's normal for them to move in here in winter. Quite a rare visit this, around once a year. I'm surprised we don't get them more often because it's quite easy for them to catch fish in the waterhole. It was a bit late in the afternoon, so I didn't find anything, and eventually it just flew off. We've had some surprises lately, and here's another one. Now, about 10 years ago, we had herds coming to drink a couple of times. And then, about 3 years ago, just after I first put up a camera, but before I started making YouTube videos, we had a bull coming to drink one night, and this is the first one since then. Now, buffalo aren't uncommon here. There are a couple of herds that move in from time to time, and there's also some old bulls that seem to be permanent residents. They just never seem to make their way as far as our waterhole. A sudden and unexpected burst of energy. I had over 700 video clips in the previous 2 weeks, but this week it was back to normal. I think maybe the tambuti leaves that the impala we're feeding on have finished, and so it was just a couple of doka. Impala fleeing in a panic, and that was because there were some lions making their way to the waterhole. We're not seeing them at the waterhole very often these days, although there's always seemed to be lions around. Almost every night we hear them, and they seem to be using the nearby roads as lion highways as they traverse from one area to another, but they're just not coming up to drink. Now, some of these are the last lions to be born here. I think it was about 2.5 years ago. I think the older cubs have already moved off, most likely chased away by the new males. And we have had some new cubs born a couple of months ago. Haven't seen much of them, so I don't know how they're doing or if they are still alive. They're still very small. Not a lot at this trail camera either. I think it's the same issue with the other one. There's a tambuti tree that the camera's attached to, and all the fallen leaves have been eaten by the impalas. Not sure what civet this is. I have the same issue with them as I do with the genet, in that I need to see both sides in one clip to identify them properly. It's not civet 1, I've got both sides of her, and we have seen this one before. I do have a reference image of it, but I'm just not sure which one it is. My anti-cold device at the waterhole camera has worked better than expected. He hasn't attacked it once since I put it up. I feel a little bit bad. Maybe I'll take it down every now and again just to let him have a crack at it, but it's nice to see him being peaceful. So on Sunday night I saw a baboon spider running across the floor of my bedroom, and then I forgot about it. And Monday night I found him in my bathroom. So I thought maybe he couldn't find his way out, so I took it outside and let it go in the garden. But then Tuesday night, back again. That's on the wall very close to the ceiling, so I thought it was plotting to drop down onto my head and crawl into my mouth after I'd gone to bed. But then I saw it scuttling across the floor heading towards the bathroom again, so I guess if he just wants to live in the bathroom, that's fine with me. Now this might be the long-lost lady leopard Layla. She does have a habit of disappearing for long periods and then coming back. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, she didn't come close enough to the camera to get a really good look at the spots. But it's quite a big leopard, and she is one of the bigger leopards here, the bigger female leopards here. And also quite confident and familiar with the waterhole. She just marched in and casually had a very long drink and headed off again, whereas the newer leopards tend to be quite furtive. And then when she stands up, you could see the dark markings around her neck, which are very similar, but I'm not sure, and it doesn't really matter. It's always nice to have a leopard, whichever one it is. So the scrub here came for a drink, and it was very suspicious. This was only about 20 minutes after the leopard had gone, so it could sense that something wasn't quite right with that spot, so it moved around to the opposite side of the waterhole before having a drink. Thanks for watching.